Hello, I'm NovaSC, and I'm going to be commentating this game against Pack with an extra K for some reason. He's a Master Level Terran player, and I'm off-racing as Terran in the bottom right. And my aim was to play with some Cyclones. And against the Master player, I'm going to have a really good idea of how well my opening actually fares against someone who's playing at a decent standard. So, great test for me. I opened with a very early gas, and so does he. So he may be having the same sort of idea as me. He may have played quite a bit like me, and played the balance map a few times like me, and gathered that Cyclone openings are very strong, so we'll see what he goes for there. Equally, he could be going for Hellions or something, even though Hellions are a bit silly now. We could be going for a drop, which is a bit stronger. Yeah, there's lots of possibilities with an early gas, just a very tech-focused play. Both barracks, very... Does he have a second? In fact, he went for a second refinery, interestingly enough, so he's going for a hyper gas. I didn't realise he went for more gas than me, so this is pretty exciting. My gas first being the more economic build, surprisingly enough, though I have cut my... Okay, I just cut an SCV so I could build a command center straight away. An orbital command straight away. I guess that's fine. Yeah. Both factories coming up at the same time. His was slightly earlier by about 4 seconds, I think. And I'm getting my first marine. Did he skip a marine? He skipped his marine. This is the sort of cheeky bullshit I usually do. I actually made a marine this time. I'm the one playing standard out of me and the master player. Here's my command center coming down. Much earlier than him. So much earlier than him. He doesn't even look like to even... Is he even gonna get... It looks like he's gonna get one. Or maybe he's gonna go Cyclone first. What's that? Yeah, Cyclone first. Whereas I've gone... Command center... then Cyclones. So, in theory, the time difference here isn't going to be so much that I should take any damage, and I'm going to have an early command center, so I'd say build order-wise I'm at an advantage here already. I've gone for the more standard build. Nice one. I assumed I was cheesing at this point, I think. But no. One Cyclone. A second Cyclone should follow up mighty soon. There we go. So I went for the second refinery, so later, much later. I think I probably could have gone in a bit earlier, but because I got it later, that means that my second Cyclone couldn't start straight away. And his two Cyclones are already across the map. The first one pops just in time, very nice. Similar to Phoenix though, when you have Cyclones, two Cyclones against one Cyclone, the more Cyclones you have, the more rapidly they annihilate the opponent's army, so you have to be really careful not to engage with fewer Cyclones because your army's going to die very one-sidedly. And we move out together. I do a nice bit of focus fire and bring a marine in, so I'm going to win that fight really nicely. So he lost 2 Cyclones to my 1, and I have the earlier command center. His isn't even started. He's gone for a Liberator. And then into Hellions. So I'm at a great advantage at this point. Going really nicely. I've got my Mule, I'm adding on my tech, I've got a Starport. So a lot later than his, but I didn't really need it so soon. I'm getting Marauder, and the reason I'm getting Marauder is because further Cyclones from my opponents. Because I made Cyclones at one point. Because I made Cyclones, and my army consists of just a Cyclone basically. If he makes more Cyclones than me, he's just going to overwhelm and kill me, so I need Marauders. Marauders instead of a Cyclone, because Marauders are going to be good as in the Bio army, and they're still going to be good against Cyclones, because they have high anti-armor damage. Here comes that Liberator. Expansion at last coming in. And he's going to do a bit of damage here, isn't he? Moving on in here. Killing a couple units. Cyclone going to eventually kill that, but I learned just right here that the anti-air damage on a Cyclone isn't very good. Hellion drop, Oh, Hellion just run by here, killing 6 workers. And then dying to a Marauder, I think. A single Marauder. Single Marauder kills those 2 Hellions, which is nice. I do clear up the Liberator, and Liberators aren't cheap, but they did do a hell of a lot of damage. That must have killed quite a few workers from me there. 17? No! That's so bad. And workers... He's now ahead by 9 workers, which isn't great. I did have my earlier expansion though, and I did benefit from the minerals from that expansion being earlier, and I did have a couple extra mules, so my economy shouldn't be too bad. It's just that's a big worker deficit that I need to catch up there. I need to catch up on that worker count. I'm trying to do that by harassing myself with this medevac, by dropping my Cyclone. Cyclone's very good against workers when they drop behind mineral lines. Getting in there, dropping some units. And he doesn't have much at the front. I'm going to have to kill a few units here. He only has Marines, and they're not very good against Cyclones. Not at all. And I'm going to get these kills that I was hoping for. And more Marines. He's just throwing his units away. And he's not really microing very much. That is a hell of a lot of damage done there. I should be putting that Marauder in there. My hands are being a bit silly, I guess. There we go. And I've racked up a few of my own worker kills. Just 3, but I killed a lot of Marines there. That slowed his army down. Back home he was... Oh, I think he harassed with a Liberator there. And so I sent out a Viking to deal with that. I think he got 1 kill, and that would have been the Liberator, yes. Sorry for missing that. There was a bit of action all over the place there. Should be keeping my eyes on the minimap, I'm sorry. But yes, I think I remember what just happened there, and it wasn't too exciting, so no worries. Stim has already finished, and I'm now working on combat shields. Getting my engineering bay, because I'm committing to bio here. What was he doing? Is he doing bio as well? He's doing bio. And he's adding tanks on as well. So he's going for tanks, whereas I'm not making any tanks. May have been a mistake by me, but we'll see. I'm favouring the more aggressive drop style. Instantly lose my Cyclone to the tank there, unfortunately. Nice tank positioning, keeping him very safe. And it's not sort of a thing I can do, however, because I know I was behind in workers at this point after that big damage that he dealt with the Liberator and the Hellions. So I can't just sit back and macro, I need to do some damage, so making the tanks at this point really isn't an option for me. Lots of dropping is a good way of coming back in the game. Liberator is being very annoying. I did try that drop, but you can see the Marines were clearing that up, so that was fine. Building a missile turret either way. Nice positioning on the missile turret, makes it very hard for him to scoop by. He has to drop around. He can't really get into the mineral line now, makes it quite hard, so he has to drop in this sort of area, which is a lot easier to deal with. And I've made a little wall off with my... it's a bit of an accidental thing there. I sort of walled this area off from run-bys, those barracks. More barracks coming on in. Really need to power out the units now. Got a drop here. Still got those 2 Marauders putting in work. 5 kills between them. And he's trying to move that, and I move in with an attack again. I just need to keep pushing. Not much else I can do here. Force him to stay at home. And it's working well. Unit-wise, I still haven't quite caught up, but I'm doing a bit better. I think the deficit is about the same. A few more kills, looking nice. Bit equal with those Marines, losing more of them. This is a good engagement for me. And it's getting a bit hairy now, I need to get out. Almost losing a medevac, actually I might have already lost one. He's moving this into the stairs, and I haven't really started doing that yet. Mine's finished, there we go. Upgrading that to an orbital command, so that's progress at least. And here comes that drop again, being very cheeky. He's way out of position again. This is not very good play from him. Oh dear. Should have left a tank behind at least, I think. Killed an SCV. Oh dear. Killed the supply depot, but losing a medevac in the process. That wasn't a very good trade. But I am keeping him at home. That's the main purpose of all this. Orbital command's done. It's helping me replenish all the workers I've been losing. Unit-wise, still the same deficit as before. Oh dear. Haven't made much progress here. I have been losing a few too many units in this drop, so I didn't really need to commit so much. Just need to keep pinning him back. Send a few medevacs home. Oh, that's pretty smart of me. Didn't have enough units to warrant there being 3 medevacs there, so I sent a few home. These should be out on the map, shouldn't they? These should be out in the middle, trying to do some damage. Well, dropping with them is fine as well, I guess. That's not looking good for me. What is he doing? Where is he going? Is he going? He's going round to attack like that, but I don't know why. Why is that a good idea? Why is he doing that? What is he doing? Oh dear, lost that medevac. That's really bad. And oh no, what? This is going so badly. Does he have any units here? He doesn't really have much to defend. So that's a bit better at least. Why has he done that? Couldn't he attack here? Maybe it's really hard. I guess it's really hard for me to attack into the tanks from that position. And my drops are being dealt with quite nicely. Luckily he's... Oh, is that going to go down? There we go. I took a barracks out of that at least, so I did cause a bit of a bother. But he's saturated on 3 bases. I'm still on 2. Bit of a problem now. Well patrolling this base, got 2 turrets up here. This is a really vulnerable location because of these spawn positions. So it's quite wise to do that. I'm just going to have to go for a drop. I don't think there's much else I can do. Moving around. Get spotted by the marine there, which is unfortunate. I see the medevacs. Am I going to drop and kill them? No. That's wise, because there are marines right near them. Oh, we need a boost now, but I don't think we have one. There we go! Good boost. And a nice drop. That's a nice drop. I don't think he has enough to do with that. Marauders are pretty tanky. And that was a nice successful drop. Exactly what I need to keep doing to keep back in this game. But he's been on these 3 bases this whole time, and I've been on 2. This isn't actually getting me in a very nice position. This is just sort of preventing me from dying so quickly. I'm still really far behind at this point because of my lack of bases. Am I been upgrading? I'm on 2. Got my 1-1. Now working on my second attack upgrade, as opposed to him already on 2-2. Oh dear. Neglecting a few things here, and my gassing. Oh dear, my gas bank's really bad. That's not good. Hindsight, maybe something gas heavy I should have been making. I don't know how viable Ravens are in this sort of situation, but they'd be a nice gas heavy thing to be making. Definitely not so many Marines. I think that's not a very good choice. There's quite a few tanks here. I don't really stand a chance against this army, and in fact my army value is pretty much non-existent. I keep trying to put pressure on, but I think he's seeing everything. Oh, maybe not this one. But I keep dropping into tanks. Oh dear. I actually get in that time, and that's not too bad. Even dropping a mule to repair my medevac, that's so good. That's not too bad of a drop I made there, but he's just got too much and he doesn't care, he's on 3 bases. And the income isn't really necessary. I did take over that position. I don't think it would have been pretty hard for him to... You didn't have enough units, it would have been pretty hard for him to take it back. And those were out of position. I probably would have done a lot of damage here, but I lost my base and all my income, so I'd lost, unfortunately. Yes, I hope you enjoyed that game. You can see how important the Cyclone opening was there. There wasn't very much either of us could do other than make 2 Cyclones. And are being adopted by master players, as you can see, as well, because it does seem one of the strongest things you can do in Terran versus Terran now. Yeah, I hope you like that. I'll see you later. Goodbye.